Yo, what's up? It's True Kingston, and I think this is a problem that is never going to be fixed when it comes to hero shooters. Today we're going to be talking about Marvel Rivals and how the Duelist, aka the DPS category, is it has more characters in it than the tanks and the supports combined. And this happens in all of these hero shooters. We're going to be talking about, I'm going to compare it to Paladins and Overwatch today. Now, here's the thing. Paladins has two different DPS categories on a technicality. They have regular damage characters that's meant to just be the main damage of your team, and then you have flank, but flank is effectively just DPS. A flank character would be someone, a good example, Spiderman would be a flank in this game, or Iron Fist. Those are the characters that are meant to kind of get up close and burst you down type of characters. And when it comes to this, in this game, the only thing I want to say is, this is a problem that we're never going to be able to fix. You know why? I'm not going to lie, you might be offended if you play DPS a lot every game, but first things first, DPS usually feels, at least in most games, it feels like it has the most carry potential because you're the one getting the kills. It's your job to get kills, and who doesn't want to get kills? Like, that's usually a lot of reasons you want to play the game. You want to pick Spider-Man, and you want to be able to beat the fuck out the Hulk. That is cool, yeah. But here's the thing about these roles and how this always goes. Since it's the most popular category, it's hard to leave it behind on characters. So, like right now, support has 7 characters in Marvel Rivals, and tank has 8. I think DPS, I want to say, has, 16? 18? No, they have like 18 characters if I remember correctly. You know how crazy that sounds? But, like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. I get why things are like this. They literally have to do this because everybody's gonna want to play DPS. Nobody wants to play. Who the hell? Like, look at the support category. Let's look at this. Come on, come look at this. Come look at this. Yep, come here. Yep, you see this screen right here? Now, look at all of these characters. Let's look at the supports, the strategists. Who looked at all of these characters and said, oh my god, I can't wait to play. Like, when you think of these characters from the movies and the comics, if you came up with that stuff, I really did. But from what I know, I'm like, bro, I can't wait to play with Cloak and Dagger.
Who are you people?
Didn't know who the fuck they were until this game. Bruh, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to use Luna Snow. Don't know who she was until this game. Mantis, I've seen, but who said I want to play Mantis? If you think about the Guardians of the Galaxy, you probably want to play Groot, Rocket Raccoon, or maybe, not even maybe, Star-Lord, because Star-Lord is the coolest looking member of the group. So, looking at that alone, it's like the only character that people were hyped for was Jeff the Land Shark, and people didn't know who Jeff was until this game either, so there's that.
My name is Jeff.
But when you look at the Vanguards, it's like, okay, there's more characters you would be willing to play. You got Hulk, you got Captain America, you got Venom, and Thor. But who said, hey, I want to be Penny Parker? Didn't know who the fuck Penny Parker was. Magneto, that's my dog, but you don't really see him from what I can tell about MCU from what I hear. I don't really hear anything about him, so I don't know if he's relevant to this stuff right now. Doctor Strange, I guess, too, is somewhat popular, but I don't hear anybody talk about him. But then you go to Duelist, and everybody, even if you don't want to play them, everybody knows who Black Widow is. Everybody knows Black Panther. Everybody knows Hawkeye. You might not know Iron Fist, but Iron Fist is going to be popular just off the fact that he's a brawling character. And people love brawling. Go look at Jujutsu Kaisen's hype, for example. Then you got characters like Iron Man, very popular character. Moon Knight isn't really known, but he's cool looking. He's literally looked at as the Marvel's Batman. Psylocke wasn't really known, but Psylocke is a freaking ninja, so that's automatically be popular. Scarlet Witch, she's a really popular character from what I can tell, at least in the MCU side of things, and she's easy to play. Spider-Man is out here, she's Spider-Man, I don't know nothing else to say. Star-Lord is Star-Lord. Storm is one of the most popular members of the X-Men. Wolverine, the leader of the X-Men, or I guess Tidy, I don't know, him or freaking Cyclops, I don't remember. And then Punisher. Like, Punisher isn't the most known, obviously, but he's a basic character, and he's cool if you know who he is. He's a cool character. They have so many options, like, even just their cool characters, ignoring everybody else. Ignoring Winter Soldier, Squirrel Girl, all of that. You look at the DPS cast, and it's just so many more options to pick from. And you're wondering, why are people locking in 5 DPS? Because, like I said, who wants to play as Mantis? When you think about this game, a lot of people probably playing this game because they like the character they're playing, or they have memories with these characters. Nobody knows who the fuck Cloak and Dagger is. Nobody knows who Adam Warlock is. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna say nobody knows for now. But the people they do know, I'm like, nobody knows who Luna fucking Snow is either. I think that's a new character, like more recent Marvel shit. And when it goes to the tank category, it's nowhere near as offensive. The tanks are okay. It's just the fact that they're low on options. That's what it is. So the reason I think they just can't fix it overall, and even when they start adding characters to the game, you can't just say, oh, we're gonna leave out the DPS until we catch up to those both roles. Because we don't know how many characters we're adding a season, and on top of that, you can't just leave out what is usually the biggest amount of players, which is going to be, if you don't think so, go look at matches. How many times have you gotten at least 2 supports? It's very rare to get 2 supports unless you wanted them. I usually have to swap, or I usually have to be the second tank. But you know what? There's way more options. If tank had as many options as DPS did, we wouldn't have these problems, I would assume. Same thing for support. But we're gonna have to wait a while until it gets to that point. What I suggest they do is do 2-2-1, is what I say. So pretty much Overwatch's team setup as in comparison. Actually, before I even go into that, no, let me stay on subject. Let me stay on subject, and then I'll go to the Overwatch thing. So when I say 2-2-1, I mean every season, if they do add 2 characters, or every character they add, it should be 2 supports, or support, tank, DPS. Either way you want to do it, or 2 supports, 2 tanks, and a DPS. Either way you want to do it. But in the end, I think DPS should get 1 character at a time compared to the other 2 until we catch up. And then we just go down the route of 1-1-1 every time. And that's the only way I think to bounce out. It's just going to take forever for them to do that, depending on how often they're dropping characters. If it's 1 a season, we're going to take forever to get to that point. I don't know if they will do that, because this is a free-to-play game, so they're going to need money, obviously. But I digress. Other than that, there's also Overwatch. The reason I want to bring up Overwatch in relation to Marvel Rivals in this case is they've done the same thing. The difference is, the beginning of Overwatch, when it comes to the first game, they started off with when it comes to the damage roll, it wasn't technically a thing. It was attack and defense. And then there was supports, and then there was tanks. They fused the damage roll, they fused attacking defenders into damage, into one role, so they got more than everybody else, a lot more than everybody else based off of that alone. And then they just was adding, as they added characters who people want to play. Overwatch 1, by far, DPS was the most popular, at least until, actually I think throughout the entire game as a whole, yes. But in the higher level, of course, like supports and tanks were more popular. Because, you know, goats existed and all that extra shit and double shield and all that. But damage characters damage was the most popular role, and it always is going to be. People want to carry the team. People want to be the one that gets the cool highlights or the play of the game. As a support, as a tank, it's a lot harder to do it because your damage is generally lower. And that's the reason why people play these roles. And when it comes to even the melee characters, like Hulk doesn't feel, well, he's fun to play to me, but he doesn't feel cool to play. Like, he doesn't do anything that looks cool. Captain America doesn't either. But when you have somebody like Iron Fist just throwing 20 punches a second on you, that looks sick. When it comes to the brawl, Spiderman swinging around, uppercutting, abducting people, yanking them into the air, comboing them, then the corpse falls down, that's cool. That's the stuff that people want to see. And the only way you're going to see that is playing a DPS. But what do you all think? I wanted to talk about this because I feel like this is a big subject that constantly happens. And it kind of, in my opinion, from what I can tell, is kind of overlooked. So I want to talk about this. But like I said, what do you think? What do you think they should do about it? That's it for me. Thank y'all for watching, like and sub, all that good stuff. But it's True Kingston, and I'm out.